how many of us don't know what we're majoring in, or we're majoring in something completely different and we'll probably never take another health class again? Okay, most of us. No offense to this class. I mean, we did learn some valuable stuff, and we learned about viruses, we learned about infections and all that kind of stuff, right? But we really failed to learn about the most dangerous, the most vile, and the most potentially catastrophic disease in human history. And talking about the zombie virus, okay? I want you guys to walk out of this classroom tonight with information that you're actually going to use, okay, in the real world. So I think the zombie virus is something that we really, really need to look at. In the TV shows and the movies that we all watch, they're always butchering up zombies, and they have no facial protection, tank top, shorts. That would never happen, okay? In the real scenario, you would have to have full tactical gear, including protection of the face, or preferably the face mask, just in case it goes airborne. That one's a little sci-fi for me, but, whatever. That one's cool, too. Now, during infection, if a person gets bit, they have about 1 or 2 days till they die, right? That's usually how it goes. Now, reanimation has been between 3 minutes is the earliest they've ever gotten, or several hours, up to 18 hours. So, it really depends on the person, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, is reanimation. But here's a question for you guys. Do zombies walk or run? What do you guys think? Depends on the movie. Okay. True or false? Zombies never run. True or false? True. 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 False. It's false. Okay. Some zombies can run. Now, I personally think it's the way the virus has affected their brain. There are certain parts of the brain that controls motion, right? There are certain parts of the brain that we use when we walk or run, something coordinated, right? That part of the brain, okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this kind of stuff, okay? I'm going to be talking about nothing fictional up here, nothing, okay? Most of the coordination is taking place right here in the cerebellum. That's what controls your, if you want to send a signal to your foot telling you to go, take a step, that's done right here, okay? Your frontal lobe, that's any kind of complex thought, any kind of memories or emotions or, logical thinking, analysis, that kind of stuff. So that right here, that's gone in a zombie. That's done, doesn't use that anymore. That part of the brain is dead. How do you pronounce this? Parietal lobe? Parietal lobe. Okay, and the parietal lobe, that controls things like speech. Is that correct? So this obviously is gone too in the zombie. Zombies cannot talk. This controls speech and other things like pain. When you feel pain, that's your parietal lobe going on right there, sending you signals. So this whole part in the zombie right here is done. So you know how they always say aim for the head, and you always see headshots right here, boom, right here. That's a lie. Because that's right there, that part of the brain in the zombie is done. Anything, they all pretty much, have the movement and the need to feed. And that's pretty much done right here in this part of the brain. So if you want to take one out, you take out the brain stem right here. Cerebellum and brain stem. Any kind of message you want to send out throughout your central nervous system has to come out through right here. So you take out the brain stem, you take out the zombie. Okay? Now this is a message from the CDC. This was this year, I want to say, either this year or last year. It was in May. Either this year or last year, I can't remember. But this is the actual CDC. this was on their website. And, it was a way for them to get people kind of more into preparing for any kind of apocalyptic event, or any kind of earthquake or flood or, any kind of event. And, but they also included a zombie apocalypse as one of their lists on the things to prepare for. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? Okay, now this is an actual zombie virus. Well, I would scratch that. It's a zombie fungus. Okay. Now it's not for our species. This is a fungus. Now, if anybody wants to try and pronounce that correctly, I'll give you $5. All right. So this is the name of the fungus that's present in rainforests throughout the world, like Brazil and Thailand and places like that. Now, what this fungus does is when the ants crawl on it, the fungus infects the ants and it takes over the ant's brain. It takes over its central nervous system. It takes over everything. And it directly tells it to crawl near a cool, dark, and moist place where the fungus can, thrive and become greater. And eventually it dies, and the fungus comes up through the ant's brain. This one's been dead for a while. You can see it's starting to decompose. And so that would be an actual zombie-like infection. Thankfully, not in our species. But they do. There's another kind of fear, I guess, that a zombie virus could actually be possible. Is people that study diseases and things say that if rabies ever went airborne, because it is a biological fact that viruses mutate, right? That's common flu, everything mutates. If rabies were to ever mutate into an airborne virus, that would be a very dark day in human history. Imagine rabies, some guy next to you at Subway or something sneezes on you, and next thing you know, you're out fighting people. You know what I mean? That would not be good. That would not be good. So there's another one that's probably even more possible than airborne rabies, and it's actually pretty interesting. Has anybody ever heard of nanotechnology? You know what that is? Nanotechnology is the building of devices using things the size of a single atom. Okay, so for nanobots that they actually use, this I don't think they've ever tested on an actual human subject. This is still in the laboratory, but they're using this as a cancer treatment. This nanotechnology. What they do is they take a tiny little silicon chip, computer chip, tiny, the size of an atom, the size of a single atom, and they fuse it to another cell, usually like a virus cell, like the common flu virus or HIV or probably not HIV, but just a virus like that. And what it does, like for instance, the cancer cells right here, what these things are doing is every cancer cell has a gene called ID1 in it. And ID1 tells the cell to start multiplying, right? And that's the, how do you pronounce that? The metastasis process in cancer. That's how it's done. This ID1 gene has specific proteins lined up. And the way these proteins are aligned is the way the gene or the cell acts. So what these nanobots are trying to do is go in there, and they're programmed. They can program these cells to go into your body and do a specific thing, like kill cancer cells or kill AIDS virus or kill, whatever. They're trying to use it for medical treatment. But the only bad thing about that is if they mess around with the genes, with the cell's genes, and they line up the proteins in a different way that they didn't expect, then you could give the patient a different kind of cancer, or you can create a plague that makes the Black Plague look like the common flu. So it's really, really something to think about. It could be really good, but it can also be very, very catastrophic. Now, I hope you guys have actually learned something in this class today. Again, no offense, but this is something we have to take seriously because we have 16 days to the 21st. 16 days for it to prepare. So, like the CDC says, if you're ready for a zombie apocalypse, you're ready for anything.